Hey everybody, and welcome back to the aviary. As you can see, we've got a very rainy day here in Mobile, and in fact, the aviary itself is flooding. So I thought I'd take the time while I'm stuck inside today to make a new video, and today we're going to talk about what I feed my birds. And as we talk about what I feed my birds, I did take the time to video the new birds in quarantine and some around the aviary, so feel free to enjoy that while we talk about what I feed my birds. Now, all the birds I raise are primarily finches. Of course, we also have the Chinese button or king quail, we have diamond doves, and we have a couple of species of parakeet. But I think the common misconception around all these birds is that all they eat is seed. Now, of course, seed is a primary diet for all these birds, both in the wild and in captivity. But as I talked about in the egg food video, just seeds is not going to be enough to get these birds everything they would eat in the wild. Now, I don't say any of this to say that seed is not important. Obviously, seed is going to be the foundation of all of my birds' diet. It is the most important thing. Without seed, the extra stuff doesn't really matter. The majority of their protein, calories, all of these things are coming from seed. So then the obvious question becomes, well, what do you feed your birds? And the answer is, I feed a seed blend. I feed a seed blend because just like people, bird species and even individual birds from different continents and locations have a different preference. So I feed Hagen Premium Blend made by Hari. Just to clarify, I am sponsored by Hari. Now, there are a lot of good seed blends on the market from a lot of major manufacturers, and I'm certainly not saying that the Hagen brand is the only option. But in my opinion, it is the best. In addition to the seed mix, which includes a bunch of different seeds from all over the world, you get dried fruits, vegetables, and nuts blended in so that you're giving your birds the best chance to get a high quality diet. So let's get into my seed storage. I store my food outside near the aviary in airtight, bug-proof, pest-proof containers, which can be very important, especially when you're storing food outside. This is also where I keep my other supplies and my millet container, which, as you can see, I need to refill today. Millet is another seed I feed my birds, which we'll talk more about in a minute. I keep my seed blend stored in a bulk container because, as you can imagine, with all the birds I have, I go through about 7 pounds of it a month, more during the breeding season. Like I spoke about before, this blend has a wide variety of seeds for my wide variety of species. I want my birds to be happy, healthy, and thrive, and that should be the goal of any bird keeper. Now let's talk about how I get the seed to the birds. Because of the large variety of species I keep, I have a large variance in sizes and eating styles between the species. So I use several different types of bird feeders, both high and low, so that I can avoid aggression and make sure every single one of my birds has access to the high quality seed blend. Additionally, I like to feed millet almost constantly, which is somewhat controversial amongst bird keepers because millet can be high in fat. But my birds have plenty of room to exercise, and I find it to be more important to ensure that they get as much to eat as possible. Variety in your bird's diet is very important, so I also regularly feed greens like the kale you can see the birds eating here, as well as broccoli, cucumber, apple, orange, pear, just about anything I can find that's bird safe. I also let my birds eat both freeze-dried and any insects that they find in the aviary. To recap, variety is as important as quality in your bird's diet. Birds like mine need a high-quality seed mix, but also things like greens, fruit, and insects to thrive. Thanks for following along, and I hope everyone has a great new year. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so we can follow along on the adventure together.